Well, nothing like a random Wednesday evening in the middle of November for Valve to come along and entirely change kind of PC gaming landscape. In fact, I'm going to go as far as to say is that this will be PC finally winning the console war. Yes, of course, I am talking about the Steam Machine has just been announced. I've got all the information in front of me here, or at least the information that was released. I'm going to kind of share some of it with you so you don't have to dig around as much, or maybe you just want to kind of bathe in the hype of this a little more, and I'm there with you. Let's kind of hype out and geek out together. This has been the long-awaited kind of rumours. We've talked about it a lot on the podcast and stuff. When will Valve move into the Steam Machine space? And we'd kind of maybe even discounted that it would happen anytime soon, but here we have it, announced today for launch in early 2026, an undisclosed price, but we do have some information on what this device that's aimed to take over your living rooms is going to be. This small cube-like form factor, Steam Machine, your Steam library in another place, and I honestly think this is going to be a seismic change in how PC gaming kind of eats into that console game space even more. It's phenomenal. Let's dig into some of that. The big one I want to say straight off the bat is that they are claiming 4K 60 with this, with the aid of FSR. I'm going to dive into the specs a little bit more, at least what we know. We've not been hands-on, but at least what we know. And it's worth saying from the off, this looks like it's going to be more of a kind of mid-range PC spec. So the fact that they're claiming 4K 60 is going to be heavily dependent on FSR. And I'm going to say that moreover, it's going to be heavily dependent on game developers kind of implementing FSR correctly. So take that with a pinch of salt slightly. But what they're aiming at is basically a Steam OS powered machine for your living room. It's tiny form factor, a roughly 6-inch cube. It does look beautiful with a lovely LED strip along the front of it that you can kind of configure to kind of show what you want it to do, maybe just the mood of the machine itself. They're going to say that it's cool and quiet, that it runs on whisper quiet fans. We'll see about that. In and out for days. 1 gigabit Ethernet, a DisplayPort 1.4, HDMI 2.0, 1 USB-C and 4 USB-A ports. It's really cool to see that much kind of in and out for your peripherals. Storage is going to come in two configurations with storage. You're going to get a 512 gigabyte version and a 2 terabyte version. Both come with the ability to be expanded with micro SD, which is kind of interesting. GPU and CPU, I'm going to come back to. That's obviously the most important part. I'm going to come back to that and go into more detail. Just on the overview page, they're saying that you can get 4K gaming at 60 FPS with FSR thanks to the discrete semi-custom AMD desktop class CPU and GPU. That's kind of a big caveat there. Let's come back to that. Connectivity-wise, you've obviously got Wi-Fi 6E in this, which is great to see, and Bluetooth 5.3 with a dedicated antenna, which is going to link up really well to Steam's new controller that they've announced at the same time. I'm not going to dive too much into the controller, but it's worth saying it does look really cool with some really great, I think, TMR joysticks on that and capacitive taps to the tops and the back of it. Lots of cool stuff to see there, but for me, I'm really excited about this Steam Machine. The power supply is built in, so no giant power brick as well is what they're claiming, which is really cool. One thing that I do love, they're not doing an Xbox here and pretending that this is anything other than a PC. They even say in the announcement page here, it runs SteamOS, it is Steam Machine verified, but you can run your own operating system if you choose. Yes, the Steam Machine is optimized for gaming, but it's still a PC. Install your own apps or even another operating system. Who are we to tell you how to use your computer? And I think that's a lovely little touch there, making a little dig at Microsoft. Undoubtedly, this is a Steam Machine, but it is just a PC that they've built to get more PCs into living rooms, which we love to see. The Steam Machine Verified thing, they're expanding their verification program, which currently you Steam Deck owners will know and love that you have Steam Deck verified games, which means that it will run and text will be legible and all the rest of it on your Steam Deck. So obviously they're expanding that to encompass this Steam Machine as well. Okay, on to the actual specs of what hardware is this running, because that's obviously what we're going to be really interested in. CPU-wise, they've got a semi-custom AMD Zen 4 with 6 cores and 12 threads that will clock up to 4.8 gigahertz. And can draw 30 watts TDP on the CPU side of it. Obviously, there's a discrete GPU in this as well, which is slightly different from what we're used to in the handheld space. A semi-custom AMD running RDNA 3, 28 CUs 2.4 gigahertz max sustained clock speed, and a TDP of 110 watts from that discrete GPU. That's actually quite good. It's going to be interesting to see how this performs, how this stacks up. And I'm more interested to see how they stack this up on a price point, where they're going to market this at. If they're going to go for the same kind of targeting that they did with the Steam Deck, which was that kind of mid to budget price point for what is a PC handheld space, are they going to be aiming the same here? It looks like it with the specs. RAM-wise, you've got 16 gigabytes of DDR5, and on the VRAM side, you've got 8 gigabytes of GDDR6. As I said, storage-wise, there are going to be two configurations for this, the 512 and the 2 terabytes. Both are going to be NVMe internal SSDs, and both will incorporate high-speed micro SD card slots if you want to expand upon that. I'm undoubtedly sure that people are going to be cracking this open day one and seeing if they can upgrade that themselves as well. The in and out's interesting when I go back to the display. You'll see that DisplayPort 1.4 and HDMI 2.0. DisplayPort 1.4 will support 4K at up to 240 Hz or 8K at 60 Hz. I can't imagine anyone using it that high, but it tells you it's got that bandwidth. Supports HDR FreeSync and daisy chaining. And onto the HDMI 2.0, 4K up to 120 Hz. Again, it supports HDR FreeSync and CEC. So absolutely massive news. I'm really excited to see this. We've been quietly excited about the idea of a Steam machine for a while, and I'm sure all of you that are into the PC handheld side of things will be really excited to see this as well. A fantastic new core device for your living room, perhaps, maybe a companion device. For those of you that are using PC handhelds, this is going to be a fantastic companion. If you're still using your Steam Deck, this is going to, I believe, add more life into the Steam Deck as well, because, of course, it's going to be built in and integrated so well that you're going to be able to stream from this to your Steam Deck. So it breathes added life into that now aging handheld piece of hardware. Fantastic to see. This is going to be seismic. I'm putting my money on that now. It's going to be a huge play for the living room space. And I can't wait to talk to Andy about it. We're going to do a whole podcast about this undoubtedly for you next week. But I think once and for all, this is going to be PC winning the console wars. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments down below. Are you hyped for the Steam machine, or could you not care less? Let me know in the comments down below. And once you're done, make sure you like this video, subscribe for more videos on this and handheld gaming content in general. And I will, of course, see you in the next one.